Hello and welcome. This is a play guide video to Peer-to-Peer, the cooperative deck building game. Cooperative deck building game genre and cooperative genres. So deck building games are games where players build up a personalized deck of cards throughout the game. Players generally start with a trimmed down version of a very basic deck, and players acquire cards as they play the game, and they improve their deck over time, which often leads to the ability to win the game or better game plays. The cooperative genre of games, players work together to accomplish goals and objectives in the game. The game is structured so that players can mutually provide input to decisions or collectively contribute towards victory conditions in a game. Peer-to-peer game setup and objective. The objective of peer-to-peer, which is a group deck building game, players use their cards to assist customers in the customer row, and as they do so, they can score, build up their ventures, or build up their deck. Each player controls a venture composed of tech deck cards, which they can use game effects from. The game ends when there are no more cards in the customer deck, and the game also ends with all players losing if there are too many unhappy customers. In the game setup, you're going to create teams, but for a solo game, obviously there's just one team. For a 2, 4, or 6, an even number of players, you just randomly divide the players into two groups, forming two teams. For an odd number of players, 3 or 5 player games, there's still two teams, but one team will have an extra player. The team with one fewer player will control an extra venture to balance the game. You then create ventures. You shuffle the deck, deal out 2 cards to each player in each team, and each player selects 1 card as their starting venture card. Shuffle the rest of the cards back into the deck. Then you create team group decks. Each of the teams will have their own starting group deck shown on the next slide. Each group deck will start with 5 cards in it. You shuffle those cards and put them face down in front of each team, and the group deck is shared and used between all the players in the team. Then you'll draw the initial group hand by drawing 4 cards from the group deck of each team to form the group hands. Each team has a group hand, group deck, and group discard. The group cards are shared between the players on the team. The remaining cards form the customer deck. You'll place the customer deck between the two teams, dealing out cards in the customer row next to the customer deck. These are the customers to be assisted at the start of the game. Then the first team marker is randomly assigned to a team. Here we see the 2 starting decks. So team 1 will start with a 4 of service, 1 of technology, 2 of science, 3 of knowledge, and 1 of knowledge. And team 2 will start with the 3 of service, 4 of technology, 1 of science, 2 of knowledge, and 1 of service. In solo play, there's a different initial group deck. Here's a diagram showing the game's setup where the 2 teams have a group hand, group deck, group discard, and group score pile. And between the 2 teams, there's a customer deck and a customer row, which can hold up to 4 cards, and an unhappy customer's area. The gameplay. Peer-to-peer gameplay is shown in this diagram where you're going to draw new customers into the customer row, play venture and group effects, and then assist customers, continue to play effects if you have any left, refresh the group hand, and pass the first player team marker. Each round is composed of phases. In the new customers phase, you're going to deal new customer cards into the row from the customer deck. The use venture and group effects, players can use game effects from one of their venture cards and group hand card once each round. And then you'll get to assist customers. Teams use cards from their hand to assist customers. After assisting, you'll add the customer card to the group discard, player venture, or score it. You'll then get to continue to use game effects if you have any left. Then you'll refresh the group hand, discarding any remaining unused cards in the group hand, and draw 4 cards. Reshuffle the group discard deck to form a new deck as necessary. And then the end of round phase. Game end trigger is checked, and the first team player marker is passed. In the new customer phase, you're going to put new customers into the customer row drawn from the customer deck. The number of customers put into the row depends on the number of players and the current team score. For a solo game, you're going to put 1 customer per round until you score 2 customers. Thereafter, you add 2 customers per round. For a 2 to 4 player game, you're going to put 2 new customers per round until one team scores 2 assisted customers. Thereafter, you're going to put 3 new customers in per round. And then for a 5 or 6 player game, you're going to put 3 new customers in per round. You're going to add new customer cards into the customer row by drawing new cards from the customer deck and adding them to the rightmost side of the customer row, that's closest to the customer deck and sliding the existing cards to the left. The customer row can hold 4 customers. And then you'll get to use venture effects. Each player can use the game effect from one of their venture cards once a round. Venture effects can be used before or after assisting customers. Starting with the team that has the first team marker, they get to use and resolve a venture effect. Then the other team has a chance to play an effect. Continue until neither team wishes to play any further effects. And then using group card effects, teams may also use card effects in their group hand. Each round, the effect of one group card can be used, and card effects may be used before or after assisting customers. To assist a customer, you're going to play group cards to assist customers. Both teams play group cards face down simultaneously with the intention to assist a customer in the customer row. To assist a customer, one or more group cards must sum exactly to the value of the customer card, and at least one of those cards must match the domain or suit of the customer card. Both teams will reveal group cards, starting with the team that does not have the first player marker. The team reveals the group cards and declares which customer they wish to assist. Then the other team reveals their group cards and announces which customer they want to assist. Contested customers. If both teams want to assist the same customer, the customer is said to be contested. To resolve the conflict, compare the group cards of both teams. The team with the highest value group card wins the customer. If that is tied, then compare the next highest value group card. If all the card values are tied, the following domain orders ranked highest on the left to lowest on the right are used to resolve the tie: service, technology, science, knowledge. For further ties, expel the contested customer. Here we see an example of in peer-to-peer a customer assisting example. The customer card in the row is the 13 of technology. The 11 of service and the 2 of technology together are used to assist a customer because they sum to a value of 13, and the 2 of technology is a technology domain card. In other words, one of the cards that are used in the sum shares a domain with the customer to be assisted. Here we see an example of what happens after assisting a customer. After you assist a customer, the card can go either to the player venture. We see here the 13 of technology could be added to player 4, team 2's player venture, or it could be added to the group score pile. The ever-growing score pile is your score at the end of the game, and it could be added to the group discard. And by adding it to the group discard, eventually it's going to get shuffled and drawn into the group hand, so you grow and improve your group deck, and hence a deck building game. The end of game. The peer-to-peer end of game triggers when there are no more cards in the customer deck and the game ends, or it could also trigger with all players losing if there are too many unhappy customers in the unhappy customer pile. For 1 player, that's 4 unhappy customers. For 2 players, it's 3. For 3 to 4 players, it's 2. And for 5 to 6 player game, it's 1 unhappy customer. And the end of game scoring. The team that scored the most successfully assisted customer in their score pile wins the game. Each successfully assisted customer scores 1 point. Use the sum of all the scored customer card values if there is a tie to break the tie. And you use individual card values and suits to break further ties with the service, technology, science, and knowledge. Tech deck concepts. The tech deck modernizes classic playing cards, bringing them into the 21st century. Use it for any classic card game. Unique card game effects create interesting interactions and provide replayability. It's versatile and portable. The small form factor is easy to carry. Wherever you are, whomever you're with, and whenever you want, you can enjoy gaming with the tech deck. The tech deck is, as you'll see on the next 2 slides, is a gaming platform. You can play many games, and there are currently 9 games in the Tech Deck family of games. Tech Grid Poker is a 2-dimensional poker game. Tech City is a city building game. Tech Exchange is a stock exchanging game. Tech Chess is a chess variant game. Gears of Industry is a personalized card game. Elevator Pitch is a creative party game. Cardle is a head-to-head code-breaking game. Chronological is a trivia time-laying game. And Peer-to-Peer is a cooperative deck building game. Each of the Tech Deck family of games strikes a different chord in the symphony of gaming as it explores a different genre of gaming. Tech Grid Poker is a poker variant game. Tech City is a tile-laying game fundamentally. Tech Exchange explores the real-time genre of gaming. Tech Chess is a strategy genre game. Gears of Industry explores the personalized card game space. Elevator Pitch is a creative party game and idea generation tool. Cardle is a deduction and puzzle game. And Chronological is a educational, history-based trivia and party game genre game. And Peer-to-Peer explores the cooperative genre and deck building genre of games. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and you have a good sense of how to play peer-to-peer. Be sure to check out the other videos that play the other tactic games at my website, at YouTube, and at Board Game Geek. Thank you for watching.